Hello, everybody. Now, you're probably wondering, why isn't she showing us her face? Well, a couple things. Today, I was caught in a rainstorm. Believe it or not, I almost got to my car, and then it started hailing, and it was raining so hard, it was literally making noise on the roof of my car. So that's why you're not seeing my face tonight. Don't be alarmed. You're probably better off. We have some cute projects that we're going to make. One of them is this adorable pop-out card, and it looks a lot harder than it is. If you follow along with me, I guarantee you will have no trouble creating this. Okay, so let's get started. Now, I've gone ahead and cut the pieces for the card, and I'm going to kind of show you how I laid them out. You have a couple different sets here, and you're going to follow the instructions right in your tutorial, okay? The pieces that begin with 6 3/4 are going to be all of your side pieces, okay? Those are here. We're going to need to score those. These pieces here are going to be mounted on the berry burst pieces here. These pieces form your back here, your layers that poke up, 1, 2, and 3. That's what these pieces are. And then we have a stack of designer series paper. Now again, I'm going to go through each of these. I need you to be on your game, your best game tonight. We're in the playoffs here. No, just kidding. Okay, let's get started and we will go from there. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 5.5 by 4 1/4 piece, and I'm going to take my 5 1/4 by 4 piece, and I'm going to layer these. Easy peasy, right? We've done that before. Take my sticky notes. I'm going to use liquid glue because you know that's the way I roll. I did a live earlier tonight. We do the Crafting Queens Challenge, and I do that with Rosemary Massaro and Jen Chow. So make sure you hop on over to YouTube for that and check out the cute projects. I did a floating card, actually 2 different floating cards that you can check out using the Storybook Friends. All right, there's our back. Now we're going to take our next piece, which is 4 3/4, and our next largest piece, which is 4.5 by 3.5. We're going to do the same thing, okay? So 4.5 by 3.5, 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, and we're going to layer these babies right up. This goes together like wham bam, thank you ma'am. I may be highly caffeinated. I'm just saying. All right, there we go. If you jump on tonight, let me know you're here. That's that piece. Now we're going to take our next largest piece, which is 3.5 by 3 3/4. And we're going to take our next largest piece, which is 3 1/4 by 3.5. Okay? Everybody have those measurements? And these are in your PDF too. I'm going to peel those stickies off. I like to use sticky notes because I can, cross it off and reuse it for another project. I have a stack of used stickies. I don't want to be wasteful. And we're just going to glue that right on just like this. That's our next layer. Okay, now we have our last piece of berry burst with this size, 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. And our piece of lemon lime twist, which is 2 by 3.5. Okay. Now we're going to layer these pieces the same way. Okay. And just like this. so those are our top pieces here. This forms this top piece and our back. All right, I should maybe lay that down there so you can kind of see it. Yeah, maybe that's better. All right, put those aside. Now we need to make the side pieces. And these are known as the M pieces. There's a 6 3/4 by 1/2, a 6 3/4 by 2.5, and a 6 3/4 by 3.5. They are going to go in order like this. All right, and each of them gets scored the same way. Let me grab my paper trimmer. Now, granted, you could cut one big piece of paper and score it and just trim it down to these sizes too. So our score is right here. I hope you can see that. 1/2, 1 and 1.5 on both ends. Now in the tutorial, we did give you all of the measurements, like if you were just lay it on your cutter, but I personally think it's much easier if you just flip sides here. So there's our 1/2. Then we're gonna go to 1. Score. Then we're gonna go to 1.5. And score. All right. Flip. 1/2. 1 and 1.5. Now let me show you how this looks. Front piece. Okay, so now we have this. This needs to form a letter M. So it goes valley, mountain, valley. Okay, and we have this on both ends. All right, see how that works? See how it looks? See how it looks? All right, when we get ready to glue this down, we're actually going to put the glue on this side of our piece. All right, set that one aside. Get your next piece, 6 3/4 by 2.5. Again, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5. Okay, turn your paper, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5. Again, same thing. Okay, this one goes back, this one comes in. Letter M, M. Or I guess you could look at it like a W too. Whichever you prefer. Okay, and we're gonna press these down real good in just a minute with our bone folder. 6 3/4 by 3.5 piece. Same thing. 1/2. 1 inch. I feel like I gotta sneeze. Sorry, guys. Oh, excuse me. And 1.5. And we're gonna turn it. And we're gonna go 1/2 inch. 1 inch. And 1.5. The good thing about gloomy weather on the weekend, it's great for sleeping, right? Fold these back, back, forward. There we go. We got our letter M. Back, forward. And we have our letter M. All right. Now, we need to do a couple things with these. Take the score. If you need the score, mark that down. It's also in your tutorial. Okay? All right. The next thing we're going to do, we are going to take our designer series paper. And we're going to utilize this. I'm going to set this aside for right now. And we need to do a couple things. All right. Number one, we need to find the 1 3/4 by 3 1/4 piece. And that gets glued down right on here like this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And again, that was the 1 3/4 by 3 1/4 designer series paper. All right. There we go. Ooh, I'm a little crooked there. All right, set that one back aside. Pull out the next one. The next piece is this one here, and it's 3 by 3 1/4. Now this is the one piece when you are cutting that you have to be careful, okay? Because the 3-inch side goes across the top. The length is 3 1/4. So if you pick a design that you don't want backwards, that's what you have to do, okay? That's 3 by 3 1/4. 3 inches, 3 1/4 deep. And we're gonna glue that on. If you pick a neutral pattern in the pack, you don't really have to worry about direction, but you wanna have some of these beautiful prints in here. This is a gorgeous, bright pack of paper. It makes you so happy. It's so beautiful. Just making sure that's lined up okay. All right, and we'll set that one aside. Our next one here is 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. All right, 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, and we're gonna glue it down. Okay, so we have him done. Set him aside. Now you're probably going, well, I don't have a piece that's big enough for this. Well, that's because, I don't know if you noticed, but you really don't see a lot of the paper behind here because you're filling it up with these pockets. So I was being conservative, and this piece is 1 3/4 by 4. Now, if you want the whole, I did this on purpose, run it from edge to edge, but you don't have to. Like, you could trim it down 1/4 of an inch, and I'll show you what it looks like in comparison to this one. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I don't have one of those really cute, I'm just going to take this down 1/4 here to show you what it would look like, because now you're going to have equal green around the whole thing. All right. And you can decide which way you want to do it. It's entirely up to you. The directions show it going from side to side. Okay. So we're just going to glue this on at the top, just like that. All right. And you can mix and match the patterns in here. There's no right or wrong. Use your own creativity. Just like this. Okay. Now we go to these pieces, and I'm going to grab my bone folder here. And I really want you to just, once you have your M here, just kind of slide it back and forth. Just to make sure we have all those nice creases, because that's really going to make the pop-up work really well, okay? Or pop out, I should say. And it's going to make it easier for you to glue these. Now, this is the back side, and you can see my M's, right? Now, I'm just gonna take, now you could use tear tape on this, which would make it real firm, which is good. You could use Seal Plus, you could use Seal. I am using liquid glue because I want some time to move it around. Now, this is our largest 6 3/4 piece that we scored. Okay, we're gonna take them in order. All right, bring our piece in here. When you're putting this down, you might get gluey fingers, okay? If you use tear tape, you won't, so that's your choice. You are going to center this, and you're going to make it flush with the bottom of your card down here, okay? Just push that down, good. And it pretty much lines up with this top piece if you cut off that 1/4 inch. All right, that one is ready. Now, what is it ready for? It is ready for its back, the part that pops up. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue this right on top of this piece here. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't go the full length, right? We wanna put our glue on here. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, let me know that you're here. I'm anxious to see who's watching. Hopefully you're enjoying this. Now, if you did not subscribe to the Craft Along and you would like all of the projects, there's a couple different ways that you can get that. You can spend $50 using my hostess code, and I will send you the PDF tutorial. Or I do have a couple of the Craft Along kits available, and you can use the link that's out there, and I will send you a kit. Now, granted, it does not include stamp sets or anything. It's just your cardstock, your designer series paper, embellishments, and ribbon, okay? And a few die cuts. You can go that route. Okay, so it's entirely up to you, or you can take from your own craft corner here, and you can make this in different paper and different colors. Entirely up to you, okay? So that piece now is ready for our next layer of 6 3/4 by 2 1/2. Again, we're gonna take our bone folder, you're gonna run it across here real good, get that crease going. We're gonna turn it over. We're gonna get those creases. We want them nice. There we go. And then we are going to take our glue and again, put it right here on this little tab. I bet you can't believe how easy this is. All right. Now, this too, everything we're doing right now gets lined up with the bottom of the card and centered. So again, I'm gonna line it up at the bottom of the card, just like so. And I'm gonna make sure that I'm centered. Woo, I slid there. And that looks pretty decent. And I'm just gonna push this down. And push this down. And there we go. Now we're ready for our next piece of backing. Okay? And all you're gonna do, again, don't put glue on this piece because you don't know where the glue is supposed to go. This whole top here will be covered. So put your glue on here, make it easy on yourself. There you go. And again, we just line this up. There we go. And, oops. And you know, I put my paper on wrong. That's okay. Oh, that'll be all right. All is good. There you go. Now we're ready for our next piece. Make sure you wipe off any liquid glue because you don't want things sticking together. You want this baby to pop. All right, 6 3/4 by 1 1/2. Again, go ahead and do your little cha-cha here. Flip it over, get those creases. There we go, and here, and here. Then we're gonna add our glue again, just like so, and just like so. Woo! There we go. And then this piece comes in, and again, lines up at the bottom, and centered. There we go. Okay, and now we're ready for our last piece here. We're gonna put that on here just like this. And again, it gets lined up at the bottom, all flush and beautiful. There we go, and smack her down. Okay, that is your card. How cool, right? Look at do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay, that's your card. Now you are going to add in your coral. So we're going to take a piece of coral, and you're just going to add a little liquid glue on that. Go. And this is going to sit right here in the inside. You're just going to kind of tuck it down, make it all cute, just like this. Okay. Whoops. Got to push a little bit. My fingers are a little sticky, but why wouldn't it be any fun if we didn't have sticky fingers, right? Okay, next I need to cut out a crab, and I forgot to do that, believe it or not. So let me just cut one out really quick. Let me grab my die set here. And I'm going to cut out a couple of these little viney things too, because I didn't do that either. All right. Okay. And I'm not going to bring my cut and emboss machine in. I know that you guys know how to use it, so I'm just going to run these through real quick. I went to do it earlier and got busy with something else. What do you know? Story of my life, right? And I'm just cutting these right out of the paper. Okay. This paper is amazing for this. And there's my little crab. And then I'm going to grab a couple of little viney things. And I think I can get them right out of that, believe it or not. Using up my scraps. I'll run that through real quick. You think I'd remember my take your pick tool, my pokey tool. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm sticking these to. I'll show you real quick. This is one of the best investments I have. When I'm doing my classes and stuff, this is made by another paper crafting company. We don't sell these, and I really wish we did. But it's a magnet plate, and it comes with a little kickstand on the back. It'll also hold your phone, and if you're missing any screws, well, there you go. I'll never have a loose screw, right? So those are on there just so I don't lose them, which is kind of a nice thing. All right, now we're going to do our little seaweed here. And you know, you can't see this part of the seaweed behind, so I'm gonna kind of give it a haircut, and then I can use the other piece of it. So I'm going to glue this part down. These are fun to twist too. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not, but it's pretty neat to, I hope I didn't put glue on the back because I'm just going to wipe it off. You can twist these pieces the way they're made, and it creates a whole different look, because see the center here split? If you twist them like this, you can get different figures. So you can use these to gain like a different appearance on here if you wanted to. I'm going to leave this like this though for right now. And I'm going to glue it down like so. Okay. And then I'm going to put Mr. Crab on with some dimensionals. One of my favorite things in the world. I love my dimensionals. I think I like my dimensionals more than my liquid glue. And I'm going to take a few of the smaller dimensionals here. I have a few black ones I'm just going to put up here on this little claws. And we're going to peel those off. There we go. And I'm going to put him on like this. Maybe I'll have this one go this way. I kind of like that. It's different. And then I'll take this extra piece here and maybe, I don't know if I like it. Well, we're running with this for right now. I don't know. I might tuck it down in. That looks better. And you could just use two pieces. I don't have to use the whole thing, but I'm just going to slide this in and kind of overlap it a little bit. Get in there. I'm hitting out a dimensional. There we go. And then I cut out these little itty bitty starfish, and we're just going to glue them on. There. And these are so cute. I love these. And here. Yeah, get off my finger. When you're stickier than your glue, you know something's wrong, right? Stay. And then I'll put one more. I think I'll put them down here. I changed the appearance of my crab, so I have to change the appearance of my little starfish. So we'll put him right here. Okay, now we have our label to do. So we're right here. Okay, and I'm going to grab my Berry Burst ink. Now you could do this in Summer Splash. You could do it in black if you wanted to, but I think the Berry Burst is very pretty. And let me grab my block and Hello Friend. Okay, block. And Hello Friend is on my desk yet. Let's see where Hello Friend is. Here's Hello Friend. All right. And I've already cut one of the banners. This is the largest banner from Stylish Shapes. There we go. Whoops. And there we go. Perfect. And I put mine on a little angle like this. I thought it looked cute. So I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals. There, I put them over here now. And on this, you're just going to put the dimensional here and then one in the middle. And this end part, you're just going to kind of let it hang. You could put a little drip of glue in the corner if you wanted to. But when it's on an angle like this, it's going to go like that. Okay? And then we can tie a bow. Now, as you guys know, pretend there's a bow there because guess who ran out of that ribbon? I've gone through so many bolts of that ribbon. It's insane. Then we're going to take our dots for days and we can add some little like bubbles on here. And the crab needs some bubbles, 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 bubbles everywhere. You guys a Willy Wonka fan? And not a drop to drink. All right. And on this one, I think I'm going to put it up here. I think that looks cute. All right, now the only thing that we have left to do is I want to show you our technique for the evening. And with that, I have a 5 1/4 by 4 piece of white cardstock. I also have, and I just got done using this, brayer. And where did I put my embossing folder? Well, that is about crazy. How do I lose an embossing folder? I should give out little prizes on my call here to say, okay, what's Lisa going to lose tonight? And where is she going to find it? And see who can guess the right answer. Let me look for my embossing folder. I know it's here, folks. I might have taken it in the house to clean it. I know where it is. All right. Sometimes I force myself to get up and move, and if I don't, then I get too stiff. All right, so what you're going to do is you are going to take the Coastal Cabana ink. Now, I like using a brayer because I do not want this to be super, super dark. Now, there's these little stands on here, so you don't want them to go into your ink pad. So when you're brayering, make sure they're pointed up, okay? It's a little bit bigger anyway, but then you are going to take your embossing folder, and on the end where the Stampin' Up! Logo is, we are, let me move this out of the way, we are going to roll on ink, just like this. Now you could do this a couple different ways depending on how you wanted your water to go. So I'll show you both. Water should kind of be flowing this way, right? Let me set this off to the side so I don't get ink on everything in its brother here. And let me show you, if we put our paper in like this, the water's going to be going the right direction. Now, I only wanted water at the top because I want people to be able to write a sentiment on there. So I'm going to put this down just like this, close it, and then we're going to run it through our cut and emboss machine. So let me do that. I got to remove a few plates here because you know with this 3D embossing folder, you don't need that. And let me put this in here just like so. And let's run her through. Oh, I put the wrong plate. I'm leaving my gray plate on the counter. Bad habit. I brought it over here. All right, there we go. Just like that. And you ready for the big reveal? Now you're going to want to do 2 of these because you're going to want one for your technique card too, okay? I'm going to open it up. And voila! I should have effects going, right? La, la. All right, so you can stamp on that if you want a sentiment. I'm just going to shake it. See, I already got ink because you know that's the way I go. Ink is all over everywhere. I picked up that embossing folder and grabbed it in the wrong spot, but that's okay. We'll put something down there. All right, and then we're going to turn this over, and this gets glued down just like this. Okay? Now that's a lot more interesting than just the plain embossing folder, right? All right, so let's glue that down. Now you could do the full piece of paper and add another paper. You could decorate it, what have you. Okay, there's no limits to this. This is just simply showing you the technique. And this just gets centered on here like so. Okay, I think I got it pretty good. And I can put something down here. For instance, I could put another little batch of these little babies around here down at the bottom. A little starfish to cover that up. I'm not going to worry about it because I'll cut actually a die cut out of the paper to cover it. But there's always a way to fix your mistake, right? All right, that is your first project. Now, of course, you'd want to add ribbon. And you can add ribbon wherever you'd like on the card. I put it under the Hello Friend. But I hope you like the card. Okay, I'm going to set these aside. And we're going to get started on our mini book. Now, this book, I took the ribbon off so I could show you how it works. And I had a crab on here. So just imagine, I've opened and shut this book so many times. But this is the way it looks. There's going to be ribbon that goes around it. I'm going to show you how to make this book. Now, you can use whatever you want to decorate it. You can have as many pockets in here as you want. The way I created the book, you can put little knickknacks and stuff in the little pockets here. And these pockets open up where you can put little 2.5 by 2 3/4 cards in there. And our tab punch works great for that. You can add little, I think it's called the sprocket. And I think Epson makes one and Kodak makes one. The little printers that you can use from your cell phone where you can take pictures. And you can put in here, these are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So a 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 picture would probably be your largest, and you can size down. You could put little tiny pictures on here. You could put little knickknacks that maybe you've collected on your journey. Okay, and this is just the way that I decorated. This is cutting out of the paper. This is a piece of coral that I cut apart. I did a side pocket on this one, which I can show you how to do. And then these are cut out of the paper. And we have lots of these in the paper. You just have to have the patience to cut them out. Another piece of coral, and then your back. Okay, so let me go ahead and get you started here. I'm going to pull out all my pieces. Okay. All right, I think I got everything. All right, so we have our spine, which is probably the most critical piece here. Okay, and we're going to work everything off of that. We have 2 pieces of 6 by 6. And I have one that I already partially started. I had it here. I might have to cut another one. I think I put it away. But you need 2 pieces of 6 by 6, and we're going to score that. Then you have, these are all designer papers, so I'm just going to set these aside for just a minute. You're going to have a spine piece and a front and a back, which is 2 pieces, and that's in your Summer Splash. You're going to have a piece of coral, and this you can cut apart, and a piece of Berry Burst coral. You are going to have a couple of circles, These are used in the stylish shapes. And I have a white one here. Okay, so you have 3 circles. You'll have some little stars here that you can use, starfish. You're going to have a piece of 7 by 3. And this is the base for your book. And then you're going to have 4 pockets, which I'm going to show you how to do. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with is our spine. So I'm just going to take these other pieces and kind of sit them off to the side. I'm going to keep my designer paper separate. Okay. Let me bring in my paper trimmer. I think we can move these out of the way for a hot second. We're going to use them in a minute. All right, this is a 7 by 3 piece, and we're going to score it at 3 inches and at 4 inches. Okay, 3 inches and 4 inches. All right, and you get this book, just like this. Now we're going to take our bone folder, and we're going to burnish our edges here, just like this. Okay, we're going to set this aside for just a second. Now we're going to work on our spine. This piece is 3 by 2 3/4. We are going to do our scoring on the 2 3/4 inch side. I have a little dust on my paper. All right, I'm going to set this, I'll put it down here so you can see it as we're doing it here. There we go. All right, we're first going to score it at 1/4 inch. Zip. Then we're going to go to 3/4 inch and zip. Then we're going to go at 1 1/4 inches and zip. Then we're going to go at 1 3/4 inches. Hold on a second. 1/4, 3/4. This one should be, I think I wrote down my measurement wrong. Hold on. I'm sorry, 1 1/2 inches. Let me change that real quick. I was working off an old document, sorry. 1 1/2 inches. Okay. And then we're going to go 2 inches and 2 1/4. I'm sorry, 2 1/2 inches. Okay. So let me go over these again. Let me grab a new sticky. Hold on, hold on, hold the phone. And this is correct in your PDF tutorial. I just wrote these down the other day and should have checked them. So we got 1/4 inch, 3/4 inch. This is your 1/4. This is your 3/4. Then you're going to move it over to 1 1/4. And then you're going to move it over to 1 3/4. Then you're going to move it over to 2 inches. And then our final one is going to be 2 1/2. Okay, so there is your measurement. Now, these 1/2 inch marks are the poker, the peak for your spine. So this one's going to get glued down. This one comes up. This one goes back. Then you have your middle section here, okay? This one comes up. This one goes back, and this one comes out. All right, so let's do this in the, and there's a picture, there's a good picture in your PDF. Okay, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. There's a mountain on the 1/2 inch, valley on the 1/4 inch, mountain on the 1/2 inch, and then we have our last piece, which is our valley. Okay, and let me show you it this way too so you can see what it looks like. All right, sorry I wrote that down wrong. It is correct in the tutorial, I just didn't print another one off because I originally made a boo-boo with this very piece right here. I missed one of the measurements, so I apologize. All right, so now what you're gonna do, turn it over, and you can use tear tape on this or liquid glue. And I'm just gonna put on one of the 1/2 inch pieces here, that's one of my mountains, and I'm gonna stick them together. Okay, just like this. And so now it looks like this. This is my 1/4 inch piece. Now my mountain looks like that. Oh, can you see it good? Then I have a valley. Then I have another mountain. So I need to put glue here on this 1/2 inch piece. Just like this. And we're gonna pinch these together, rub them back and forth, and we're gonna use our bone folder on them. And then you have your other 1/4 inch piece. Now these 1/4 inch, see, on the back side you'll have 3 ridges. On the top side, you're gonna have a 1/4 inch, a mountain, and then a 1/4 inch. And in between them is a 1/4 inch. Okay? Now we're gonna take this, and you can use tear tape or liquid glue. You're gonna bring over your binding here, and this is gonna get glued down, centered right here. You wanna make sure that you do not go past the top and the bottom, okay? And then try to line it up equally from side to side. So I'm just gonna put liquid glue on here because you guys know I love it. You can use tear tape or Seal Plus or Seal, whichever you choose. Of course, tear tape, Seal Plus, and liquid glue will probably make your book a little bit more durable. All right, and I'm trying to see this with my lights on here. It's a little rough, but I think we're getting it. I need to come over this way a little bit. I'm not centered. Let's see. I gotta pick it up a minute, guys, just to see where my center marks are. That looks, I wanna make sure it's on there straight. That's not bad. We can go with that. All right, now we need to make the pages for our book. Okay, so let me grab my paper trimmer again. This is our 6x6 piece. You're gonna have 2 of them. You're first gonna score at 3 inches, and then you're gonna turn it. And you're gonna score at 3 inches, okay? Then I think it's easiest, I bring my cutter up to the top and I just pull this down to where this 2 squares meet here. And I think I'm about there. Yep, perfect. And this gives you what I call the pants, okay? Now, in the pants, and we're gonna do one more of these. I gotta grab one more piece of paper here quick. I thought I had another already pre-done, but it seems to have vanished. I probably cut it up knowing me. Let's do a quick 6x6 here. There we go. And again, you're gonna score at 3. Turn it, score at 3. I'm gonna bring my cutter to the top, and I'm gonna pull this down till it meets the center line. Let me see, a little bit further, a little bit. There we go. And again, I got my pants, okay? Now, we are going to essentially, I'm gonna burnish all these edges so you can see how this goes here. All right. So what we're going to do is you're going to take these top pieces where it's split, and you're just going to rotate your wrist like this. Very simple. This creates what I call the tent. And inside the tent, you're going to put your pocket piece, that hinge. Okay? This part will then be glued together on the bottom, leaving you this gap on the top where you can put cards in. All right? On the back side, the beauty of this, on the back side, it's going to create another pocket here for you to insert your spine. All right, so let's start working on this. Now we're going to bring in our 16 pieces of 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. All right, so I'm going to grab these two as being my first. And this book isn't even going to look like my first one. If you want it to be just like mine, the pictures are in the PDF tutorial, okay? I think it's fun to make them all different. Okay, there we go. Now this book would be great for new grandmas, done in a plaid version or in the Remember the Day. I can't remember I'll show you when we're done. The designer series paper, it has this really pretty Lost Lagoon plaid in it. And I can just picture this done up for a little baby boy, like a brag book for a grandma. It would also be cute to carry around little ultrasound pictures in for mommies. Or a little wedding mini album. Okay, so now we have our two pieces on. This is important that you put this paper on before we put our pocket on. All right, I have 4 pockets. The pockets measure 2 7/8 by 1 1/4. All right. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to score these at 1 inch. Oops, flip that over. At 1 inch. Hopefully it doesn't get stuck to my fingers. This gives you a 1/4 inch place that we can seal this. So let me show you how this works. And I've scored the other ones already. So what you're going to do is on the inside here, you're going to take your glue just like this. And you are going to go into the tent. This 1/4 inch piece gets glued in your tent, just like this. Now, I like to keep it away from the spine as much as possible because I want to be able to put stuff in there and be able to fold it. Okay? So I'm just going to press this down with my bone folder on the inside. Okay? So now this is my tent and this is what it looks like. You can see the glue mark here. Okay, that's my 1/4 inch piece. Now I'm going to come back here. I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on both sides. I could also, if I wanted to, I could take a circle punch and I could notch this out to make it easy to get things in and out of. I'm just going to flip that up and I'm going to rub it down real good. Flip it up and rub it down. All right. Now we need to put our pocket on this side. So now we're going to put our designer series paper that we want on this page right here. So let's go ahead and we're going to glue down these 2 pieces. Now they can be the same, they can be all matchy-matchy, or they can be different. It's entirely up to you because this is your little mini book. Now, another thing that you could use this book for, think about this for Mother's Day. And wouldn't it be cute to write some nice little things about your mom? And in these little pockets here, you could put little tea bags and give to your mom. All right, so now we need the second piece added. Just like this. There you go. And we're going to grab another one of our pocket pieces, which I have already scored. And we're just going to run our bone folder across it here to get it nice, straight edge. And then we're going to put glue on the inside again. Again, tear and tape would work good here. And this time, it's going to be done. Oops, I had a little bit. There we go. It's going to go this way on our tent. And again, we're going to keep it closer to this edge than the spine edge. Okay, and I'm just going to rub my bone folder on that again. Just like that. All right, now we need to put glue on these two edges. Just like this. And just like this. And we'll push those up and rub them with our bone folder. Okay. Now we want to put, where we inserted our pockets here, we're going to put tear tape. So grab your tear tape. And we're going to put tear tape along this same edge here where we glued our pocket in. I'm going to rub my bone folder across it. And let me show you how that looks, just so you know where it's at. It's inside the tent. And now you're just going to pull this piece of tear tape off. And you're going to close your tent. Easy peasy, right? Rub your bone folder on it. Okay. All right, this is where you could put that tea bag or your little note to your mom or what have you. The back side here, now look at, I'm going to show you this. I take my bone folder to kind of open it up. That's where our spine's going to go. So I'm going to show you how that works. You're going to take, I'm going to use tear tape on this just because it's easier for me not to get glue all over everything, because you guys know how I am with liquid glue, but I love it. Again, it takes me back to when I was a kid in art school and kindergarten, making all those fun projects where we had no cares in the world. We should all visit that time in our life every once in a while. No cares, no bills. Got to play with friends all the time. In my early school years, one of my teachers, I was kind of like the good kid in school. I loved to read. I liked math. Didn't care much for science. History was okay. Well, we had a couple kids in our classroom that did not behave. And I actually got an award at the end of the year for sitting next to some real dillies. Isn't that something? All right, we're just going to peel the tear tape off of our first one here. And I should have done this beforehand. Sorry, I forgot to show you a critical step. You're going to snip these on an angle because it makes it slide in real easy. I use this technique on all of my books. It holds them together nice. It makes them easy to put together. Some of you got my bear book last year. I make a lot of mini albums. If you like mini albums, You really need to follow me, that's for sure. All right, and then we're going to just slide this in, and we're going to line it up. Okay, come on. Slide it in, and we're going to line it up with the top and the bottom, just like that. Okay? And you can kind of rub this back and forth here to make sure you have it all adhered well. I think I'm a little crooked. All right, so that's our first page in our binder. Now we're going to repeat the same process with this second piece of 6 by 6. Just like that. You got your pants. Your pants come down to the side and they form your tent. Okay, just like this. All right. So we need to put designer series paper here. I'm going to pick this one. I love this little starfish one. And here you go. Now we're going to grab another starfish one. And here we go. Just like that. Now on this one, I'm going to do another piece of my pockets where we've already scored them, right? So we have 4 of them, just like this. And I'm going to again put glue in the inside, just like this. Woo, get in there. And then this piece again goes inside our tent, that 1/4 inch inside our tent. You can kind of push it forward. And I just want to line it up so it's more towards the wall outside page than it is by my crease of my spine. Okay, now I'm going to put liquid glue on each side here, just like this and like this. And we're going to seal them up just like this and just like this. I have a little extra glue oozing there. I want to make sure I get that. Okay. Now this pocket on this side, I have a little extra glue in there too. I'm going to show you how to do a side pocket. Let's see. Let's take these 2 pieces of paper for this one. Or let's make them orange. We'll leave them this. I like these. All right. We're going to glue down our paper. And I want to show you how to make a side pocket in case you want some of these on the side. Okay. I want to make sure that's not sealing shut on me before I can do my side pocket. And like this. And there you go. And then we have our last pocket, which is right here. Pockets. And I have my 1/4 inch. I'm just going to do that in my bone folder. And I'm going to put the glue inside just like this. Okay, now if I want a bottom pocket, going back to my whole, sorry, I got to get a hold of this. My whole tent, okay, here's my bottom pocket. If I want another bottom pocket, I would glue it here. If you want a side pocket, you put it here, okay? So I'm going to put a side pocket in just so you can see. It just goes at the top like this, okay? You're still going to put your paper, your tear tape down here at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do that before I forget, okay? So I'm just going to tear off a piece of tear tape here, and I'm going to put this at the bottom, and then we'll finish that pocket. okay? And that comes shut just like that. And then our side pocket, we do the same way. Now you could make this fancy too. You could angle it, have an angle. You could make it thicker and have an angle. You could make it a corner and angle it. You could get creative with it. And then you're gonna take your glue just like this and down the edge and down the edge, just like that. And we're gonna shut him up and then we're gonna bone fold him. Stick, 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 stick. Sometimes it takes a little bit for that to dry. All right, so now we got our back slot again. You stick your bone folder in there and kind of open it up. And let me grab my little book here. And I want to take these pieces of tear tape off. Get that over there. And pull this one off here. And make sure my book is going in the right direction. And I can kind of keep it, once you get it open like that, you can kind of squeeze it a little bit. And I'm just going to put that on the top. Slide it down to the bottom, make sure they're lined up. And that looks pretty good. And I'm just going to bone fold it. And bone fold it. Now we have some other pages to decorate here. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to randomly, I know on the front of my book and on the back of my book, I want to use these two. So I'm not going to use those. But I do love this pattern. Maybe I don't have another one of those. I only had one. Well, let's use orange. Okay. Hopefully I didn't lose a piece in the shuffle here. I may have. And if so, you can just cut another one. Orange in here, just like this. And that's a different orange. This one we'll put here. Just like this. Okay, and we'll come back and decorate those pockets. We have two that we need here. Let me grab another piece of this. Two and 3/4 by 2 3/4. This is my favorite piece of paper. I love this chevron. And I might as well cut an extra just in case. Just in case. There we go. We're going to put these two pieces here and here. The chevron piece on the other side is where I cut my little images out of. Now, I'm not going to show you all the cutouts that you can put in this book. Okay, I'm just giving you the basics of how to create it. And you can go ahead and look at my pictures that I gave you. All right, we got to put our our pocket designer series paper on that. And then we need a piece for the front and the back. And let's see, what do I want to use for that? Let's use this one. I like this one too. I must have lost a couple pieces of my designer series paper in this shuffle here. But you do need 16 pieces, okay? And 2 3/4, just like this. Voila. And these we're going to put in the back here, just like this. This would also be really cute, like if you were teaching a small child, like animals for instance, you could stamp in here and do one as like a dog, one as a cat. You know, you could do the alphabet, you could do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you know, and maybe have a couple different books that they could learn from, or you could do numbers, and help your kids actually learn from this little book. All right, now we have the back and the front that we need to decorate. And we have these pieces here that are Coastal Cabana. And there's two of them. They're 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So let's put them on. This just gives you just a little border. Okay. And then we're going to take and put our designer series paper that's 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, which I love these stars, and you guys know that. Okay, just like this. Okay, then we're going to flip it over. We're going to do the same on the back side. Just like this, and actually I'm going to open it up so you can see it. And it's easier to line up this way. That's a small little edge, an 1/8 of an inch edge. And then we're going to take our other piece of stars and put on the back. Just like this. Okay. And then we have a small piece of Coastal Cabana for our spine. It's 7/8 by 2 7/8. There you go. And that goes right on our spine here, just like this. Woo! That was a slippery slope. It's sticking to my fingers. Just like this. And then we have a piece of spine DSP, which is 3/4 by 2 3/4. And this gets glued down right on here. Just like this. Perfect, perfect. Up a little smidgen and over a little bit. Come on, slide with me, slide with me. There we go. All right. And then we have our pocket designer series paper. You're gonna need 4 of those. They're 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So you're gonna open up to where your pockets go. And here's one. I'm just gonna put that on just like that. Now you could have all different designer series paper on every one of your pockets if you wanted to. Just like this, over a little bit. That's pretty good. And then we flip and we grab another one of our pockets. Okay, and that goes down like this. A little crooked there. That's better. And then we go to the next one, which is right here. Grab another pocket piece. Just like this. Okay, and our last pocket piece goes on the side like this. We made a side pocket. Okay, now we need to decorate. And we have our circles. Okay. This circle you can put in the inside, so you can set that aside and use it wherever you want. This piece is important, but you want to take your ribbon before you start this and put it down here. Now you're going to take a small piece of tear tape. I got glue all over my hands. Just like this. Come on, get out of there. Hurt. All right, and this is going to get pulled across just like that. And that's going to keep that in place so it doesn't slide out. Then you're going to take your white circle and you're going to put down. Okay? And you're just going to glue that down. Just like this. Now this piece here, I put it up on adhesive strips. So I'm just going to take that off because I wanted it to look like you were looking through an aquarium window. And this, you're just going to take it and I just wrapped it around just like this. Now you could glue this flat if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. But again, I was trying to create that appearance that we were looking through an aquarium. Okay, and I need a little bit more here to finish that off. Just like this. Now this would be really cool to do as a shaker too. So if you got creative, especially there is some awesome shaker pieces coming in the new online exclusives. Oh my gosh, they're beautiful colors. That would go really good in here as a shaker. And really all we need to do that is a window sheet, you know. Okay, and then we're going to carefully stick this down just like this over top of our other circle. All right, now on mine here, I cut out a little puffer fish and a little seahorse here. I'm not going to do all that with you tonight. That's up to you. I did take a piece of coral, and this is such a big honking piece. I just snipped this little section off of it, just like this, and then you could put this coral like this. So that's all we're going to do. We're going to glue that down. Just like this. Okay. And then we have our little crab here, and we're going to pop him up on dimensionals just like this. Okay. So let me grab my dimensionals. Where'd I put them? Where'd I put them? Here they are, hiding on me. Excuse me. I'm going to put a couple of small ones on his little claws again. Let me get these sticky notes out of the way. Claw. You guys ever play that claw game? I am so good at that. I love that game. If you guys haven't figured out, that's kind of the way my brain works. I can look at things and figure them out. I'm like that at work. I'm like that at home. Assembly of stuff. Putting things together just by different shapes, the score lines. I just have a knack for that. It's kind of crazy, actually. And this is just going to go in here like that. Okay. And then if we wanted to put our little animals or critters in there, you could do that. You could even glue, like I did here, a piece of flat coral in there. All right, now I have this itty bitty label. There we go. And we are, first I'm going to clean this because I used it on the other one and I don't think I did. Just to be safe. Get him all cleaned up good. I still see some ink in there. All right. Now this is an age-old, all right, where did my little piece go? There it is. This is an age-old trick. You just take your Memento ink, and I'm going to move this out of the way because I can see me getting something on him. I'm just going to, first of all, get the stamp on straight. There. And we're just going to go in just where the hello is. Like this. I don't know if you can see it with the reflection of the light. If I can't really, I don't know if you can see that or not, but anyway, just where the hello is, now you can see it. And look at that, I almost got that ribbon in that ink anyway. And then you're going to come over. I smushed it. Well, we can put a rhinestone over that. And then you're just going to stamp the hello in here. I was going to say type. You can just type your hello in there. Just like this, and voila. And then we're going to grab our dots for days again. And I am going to use one of these here and cover up my smuts here. Just like that. And we are going to glue this on our little aquarium window just like that. Just like that. And then you just have to tie your little book shut after you decorate it. Just like this. And I might actually do a little coral surgery there too. Try not to get glue all over my ribbon here. Just like that. And you have an adorable little book. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. So tonight's projects, this one was my one from before, and I actually pulled my crab off of here. But here are a couple of the card samples. Okay, this one you can tell has been around. This was my first one I did. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Give me some feedback. Show me some love. If you're interested and want the tutorial, just spend $50 in my online store using the hostess code. Hi, Arlena. I just saw you're here. I'm sorry, honey. I was enthralled in my project here. If you want one of the kits sent to you, I still have a couple of them left. You can register using the Constant Contact link. And I will see you next week. And thank you for joining me tonight. Take care.